Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome back.
We are back. Awkward Aquarians review.
Aw.
Yeah. Ah. And
All
today we
the
are going to be
awkward
talking
things.
about episode 2 of season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer called The Harvest.
That's that
Um,
second part when they said to be continued, and
to
this
be
was the
continued.
continued.
This is the one where, like I said, I always just connect the two. So in my mind, I'm still talking about episode 1 because
Same
it's
here.
all the same.
A two-parter is one, let's be honest.
Yeah, especially when it's just a show, like a TV show opener. Two-parters are one for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So, but I do have a pretty good notion of what happened in the second one as opposed to the first one.
Mhm.
So I know that, I guess, giving a little recap, because it ends right when she's about to be bitten by Luke,
Bruja.
the Bruhaha main evil guy, and he
Mhm.
goes in to bite her, and his hand like touches the cross that Angel gave her, and he's like, ah.
So
So
symbolic. Angel wanting
Angel
to protect
basically
her, and it
saved her
literally
life.
protects her.
Literally
Yeah.
saved her life from the get-go. And
Yep.
she gets away, and then Xander, Willow, and Jesse, this third friend, are all getting attacked um in the graveyard by vampires, and she saves Xander and Willow, but Jesse gets taken away. So they go back to the school, talk to Giles, try to find him. He's already been turned into a vampire. They escape. They try to figure out where this harvest thing is going on, and the harvest is supposed to be able to raise the master because he's like trapped in this underground tunnel cave thing, and he
Prison.
cannot
Yeah.
ascend. So try to find out where that is. They do, and Buffy ends up fighting, boo, 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 and killing Luke and stopping the harvest. So
Yep.
there is the short recap. That
And
is,
she tricks him too, because she's like, she breaks the window, and it looks
mhm.
like sunlight's coming in, and he's like, ah, and she's like, idiot, it's still
Yeah,
nighttime,
she's
and then
like
she
so
like stabs
stupid. She's
him.
like, it's in like 8 hours, moron. Oh, which I love that. That's how you defeat the big first bad guy you meet by
Right? So
smart
he's like,
and
oh, the
strength.
sun. Like,
No, yeah, he's
she
like,
plays on his
no.
instincts, which is to like cower
Yeah.
away.
Like, how long do you think you've been in this club, idiot? Like, come
I
on.
know. He was so into, bringing the
Yeah,
master forth.
yeah, I
He
was
just,
just so into drinking blood and bringing forth the master. So she got the
mm-hmm,
best of him, and I loved that. It was such a great scene.
mm-hmm,
Also, I wanted to to point out, when I was recapping, I mentioned Jesse, who we didn't even talk about yesterday because um he's killed off so quickly. Like, at first you think he's going
mm-hmm.
to be part of the Scooby Gang. You're like,
The Scooby
oh,
Gang,
it's
yeah.
this this fourth person, and he's kind of funny, and he kind of has a little thing for
Quirky.
Cordelia, and
Mhm.
nope, killed off so quickly.
And when he comes back on the scene at the club, though, as a vampire, he's kind of sexy. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think it just proves vampires are sexy. Like,
I
they just
was like,
got
it
it.
wasn't sexy before. Even Cordelia was like, all right, I'll dance with
Yeah,
you.
Cordelia, who
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with him, basically just mocked it back and forth. All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll dance with you, but just one dance."
Right?
Yeah. The only issue I think I had with it was I mean, he's supposed to be, Willow and Xander's friend for since childhood. His
Yeah.
death is never mentioned again. It never comes up. It's never this callback to oh, and we lost Jesse. It's just, I'm like, oh my god, what if I would be that friend? This is
I
turned at
know,
the
I'm
very
the red
beginning.
shirt.
Yeah,
The
the
red
red
shirt.
shirt. Jesse is the first
Oh, no.
Buffy versus red shirt.
That's what I love in Galaxy Quest when he's like, do I even have a last name?
You don't know.
Guy.
Yeah, I love Guy. You don't know. I
Is
know.
there
It's
air out there? You don't
you
know.
don't know. Yeah,
Do you guys
Jesse is
even watch your show?
the
Mm,
Yeah, so yeah, Jesse's a red shirt. Jesse's the guy.
yep, he's the guy. He's a guy.
Yeah, killed off
Yeah.
and be care for a little bit, but
Never
after that,
mentioned
nope.
again.
Well, there was that, and then there was we didn't talk about Darla yesterday either. Like
Oh
we didn't bring her
yeah.
up, and she actually was like the very start of the show because the very first episode opens with her,
And I
kind of
forgot
like
that she was in it right away because
I
I
did too.
watched the Angel series, and so I'm so used to her having a bigger part, but it's actually a pretty
Yeah.
small part in Buffy.
I know it's weird because when we were rewatching it and she was what killed off in episode 7 or something like
I
that,
know,
and
I
in
was
my
like, I thought she
mind
was through the
she was just
whole
always there.
season.
I was like, did I
Yeah.
just like sort of give her a bigger part than she had? Like, why do I
I think
remember
it was
Darla
'cause
so
she
clearly?
had such a big part in the Angel show that you kind of when you rewatch Buffy, you have all that in your mind,
I
like,
kind
all of
of,
the
although I don't
history of
remember her
her
that
and
much from Angel. It's weird. Like, I
hmm,
plus we see her in a few like flashback episodes,
flashback
like
episodes,
in like
yeah.
the making of Angel and everything like that, and like
Mhm.
you said in the Angel show. But also, I think
Yeah.
because like she's connected to such big moments throughout like the
Mm.
Buffy universe that I
Mhm.
think in my mind she has like a bigger part than she does. She has a bigger part because she has a big role in everything. Like
Yeah, 'cause she's his
she
maker, so it's kind
yeah,
of a
she
big deal.
made Angel. She basically made she did. She made him. And then,
And when they were
in the
evil, they were in a vampire sort of love, like
yeah, they were inseparable. Kind of evil inseparable. Although
Mhm.
like he did get mad at her because of that time, I guess. What did he say? She left him to die with like an angry mob coming after
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So still evil in love, but evil.
Uh-huh.
And but and then like the episode Angel where she's like trying to kill Buffy and Angel literally kills her to
Yep,
save Buffy
to
is such
save
this huge
Buffy.
moment in the Buffy Angel relationship because you see how much like he's willing to do
And
to
you don't
save
really
Buffy.
get the weight of that episode, I think, until you watch the whole series and you learn more about him and
Mhm.
Darla being
Yeah.
together for, like, hundreds of
Yeah. Although I
years.
did like when I first saw that episode, I was still like, "Oh," like I still had like a little heart, like
Little
my heart's still
romantic,
paying.
for
Yeah, I'm
sure.
like, "Oh,
But
that's
then
so
in
sweet."
rewatching it, you're like, "Damn, he killed his maker." Like,
Yeah, he
it
killed
really
Darla. You're like, "Okay."
mhm,
So and she is you open on her. Like you open on her in this like
mhm,
teenage boy or something breaking into high school and then she turns into a vampire and kills him. So she is like your
mhm,
introduction into this world of vampires basically.
mhm.
And so even though she's
Yeah.
only in it for 7 episodes, the first season, probably altogether in the Buffy sphere, I'd say she's in what like 10, 12 episodes.
Well, and they
Um
also introduced that vampires in this world, their face turns into,
mhm.
like, a demon face,
Which I
which I
appreciate. I
remember
appreciate
first being
that.
like, "What?"
I appreciate them turning to dust when they're killed. I'm like,
Yes, no
"Good."
blood,
Like,
that's so clean and
yeah, like,
sanitary.
very smart decisions made with this show.
Mhm,
They're like,
mhm.
Let's not have bodies that we have to dispose of all the time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny, I thought seeing Angel's demon face would make him unattractive, but I was like, I could deal with it.
You're like, "I'd still make out with him, I don't care."
It's alright, you know?
I know, yeah,
It's like
I know,
him in the
oddly
opera
enough,
with his mask on, you know? Like,
he
throw his
doesn't throw
mask
me
on.
off that much, yeah,
I
like,
know.
"Don't find you grotesque at all, thank you."
David Boreanaz can rock a demon mask very
Yes.
well.
I know, even, like, a Spike from season and I know we're not
Oh, yeah.
Spike Buffy fans, but we do love Spike, and
I
even,
love
like,
Spike, yeah.
Spike with his demon face is like, "You're still cute too," like,
He he
it's not
is
that
so cute.
ugly. Yeah.
His British accent and his punky
Oh, yeah.
hair.
Ugh, perfection.
Perfection.
But we did have that really good speaking of Angel, that, like, amazing scene in the mausoleum, which, again, sets up the relationship between Buffy and Angel, where she's finding just a little bit more about him, not much, and he's just there in the mausoleum and tells her, "Don't go into these catacombs because they'll probably kill you." And she's like, "Oh, I got a friend down there. Do you know what it's like to have a friend?" And he just doesn't answer. He's like, "No."
Oh, it's so sad.
I know it's so sad. It's so sad. And then I just love the part like when she's like, "Oh, are you gonna wish me good luck?" And he doesn't say anything. And then she walks away and he like whispers, "Good luck." It's like,
I
oh,
know,
that's
it's like,
so
oh. Oh, the feels.
There's so much about that relationship that just from the get-go just drags me in. I'm like, oh, I just want to see more of this. I just want you to see you two together. That's all I want to see.
I know. What's that song? There will come a day somewhere far away.
Oh,
In your
Sailor
heart
Moon
I'll
song.
stay, my only love.
Tuxedo Mask and Serena.
Yeah, that is what it's from. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
That song popped in my head. Tuxedo Mask and Serena, my first.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably
Your
my first romance.
It's like what everything like goes back to, and then it just expands from there.
I know. Started with Sailor Moon, and it just got bigger.
So yeah, that was a perfect little Buffy Angel moment. I loved that moment. I could
Yeah, me
rewatch that
too.
moment dozens of times, and it never gets old.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had, well, Xander and Willow finding out, what she is, and like I said, I'm so glad it happened quickly, like
Yeah,
into the
instead of
show
dragging it
because
out. Some of the
yeah,
shows
where they're
now
like
just, like, take their time, and it's like,
I know I read something the other day where they were talking about like relationships on TV shows and the slow burn and how everyone loves a slow burn and I love a slow burn. But they were saying, yeah, slow burns are great and all until like the show gets canceled or ends and you get no payoff. Like it was nothing but a burn. You
it
got
was
no
just a
ignition.
burn.
Yeah, that's all it was. I was thinking that's true. That's
That's
happened to me
true.
with shows I watch. So
Mhm.
I appreciate a slow burn, but I think you have to do something by the end of like each season because you have no idea if
Yeah,
it's gonna get
like, at
canceled.
least at the end of Friends, Ross and Rachel gets together, like, they at least
Mhm.
gave that to us, you know?
Yeah. And I was even like mad about that because I felt like they dragged the Ross and Rachel thing
Oh
on
my
for way
god.
too long. Like
Through
I
the
don't even know if I
mud.
want them together now. Thank you
I
so much.
know.
I wanted them
A
together
little
for
bit
like
ruined. A
yeah.
little bit.
I remember the first 2, 3 seasons I was this huge Ross and Rachel girl and then I was just like, "Oh god, look what they've done to my ship."
I know. It's like, just to continue the show. I'm all
Mhm.
about ending the show when you feel like there should be an ending, instead of just like, "We
Hello,
wanna make more money, we're
Supernatural.
gonna make more seasons." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
that's what I well, I guess I mean if they
liked.
would have canceled Buffy after season 1, we probably would have been like, "No payoff, Angel and Buffy,
No
no
payoff.
payoff."
But they do lots of little payoffs with,
Yeah, lots
Buffy
of
and
little
Angel.
yeah, oh yeah, I feel like the
And
Angel episode, which we'll talk about, in one of the upcoming podcasts, is a payoff in and of itself. Like,
yeah,
even if the
yeah.
show got
Well, and
canceled, I
then
had
my only favorite episode in the Angel series is that one where they get
that
that day to be together, and that
Oh
is
my
one of
god!
my favorites. I just have to change the ending. He has to stay human
Squeeze
and they
my heart in a vice.
yeah.
Like, oh, it's so good and so painful in, like, the best ways.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but, yeah, so that's pretty much everything that happened in The Harvest, I think everything of note that happened in The Harvest that I can remember. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
just, yeah, more of being introduced to the world, her defeating Luke in the cleverest of ways,
Mhm.
Willow and Xander finding out, Giles being awesome as he always is.
As a watcher, he's just that great,
He's perfect. He's like this he's
intelligent father
yeah,
figure.
the best kind of watcher
The
ever.
best. Yeah.
And then like the last, oh my goodness, the last 30 seconds is probably again what had me so hooked to the show because they're talking about like how nobody everyone saw vampires at the club but now nobody believes it. They're like, oh, it's a drug, oh, it's a gang initiation, oh, it's this. And like
Okay, okay. But remember when we were camping at my grandparents' cabin, there was that creature and I didn't believe I had seen it.
yeah, Hannah and I totally believe in the like darkest parts of our soul that we had a supernatural encounter up in like the woods of Cottonwood, Arizona. I still
Uh-huh.
think it was some creature from the depths of hell that was stalking us, and we barely got away.
Yeah, the smell of blood, the
Smell
giant
of
bush
blood, and you
moving.
didn't believe it at first, and then you opened
I
the door
closed the
again.
door and didn't believe
Mhm.
it. I was like, "I didn't see that." And then I opened it and it was like,
Oh my god,
I shut it, locked it,
come for you!
all the locks.
Slammed it, locked it, turned on every porch light, looked out the window. Like, oh god.
Yeah, so I totally get that where you're like, "No, that
Try to
can't be
rationalize things.
real."
But the thing is, your rationalization sort of lasted like 20 seconds and then you accept it. Oh no, it's real. It's totally true.
Yeah, it's real. There's something out there. I guess we just have to accept that.
So yeah, the the people of Sunnydale were just like, oh no, it's not vampires, and Willow and Xander were like, oh, I can't believe it. It's so shocking that no one, you know, believes. And Buffy and Giles were just like, oh yeah, that's how it is. And Giles is like, oh, and there'll be witches in the future, and like werewolves and other these things. And Buffy's like, oh, I can hardly wait. Maybe I'll still get kicked out of school, you know. It's just like
I know
such a
when you
cute
said
way to
werewolves,
end.
I was like, Oz, one of
I
my
know, I
favorite
know.
characters.
And then it's like the kids walk away, and one of my still favorite lines is Giles like, "The Earth is doomed." Like, oh, I love this show. I love this show. I need to watch every episode ever.
Totally.
Perfect way to end the what I still consider first episode.
Yeah, the Earth is doomed. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
such a
So
fun romp.
it is. It's like just a fun ride. So, like, what rating would you give The Harvest? And do you like The Harvest more or less than you liked Welcome to the Hellmouth?
I definitely like Welcome to the Hellmouth best, I
Mhm.
guess. I think because the Buffy and Angel interactions, and I don't know, it was just so cool to see everybody introduced. And so I
Mhm.
think I would give this the second part of it 9 out of 10 bloody steaks.
Okay.
Because I do like the first part of it better, but I still think if you considered it one episode, the harvest, and then if it was all one, I would say 10 because. But if I have to separate them into the 2 episodes, I think the first one better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, if it was all one episode, it would be 10 easily.
Yeah,
But since I already gave episode Welcome to the Hellmouth a 10, I do feel like
yeah,
I like that one just like infinitesimally better
yeah.
than I like
Just
the
one
Harvest.
steak better.
Yeah,
Just
like just because like Welcome to the Hellmouth, you're just the introduction to the world, and I really loved that. And The
mm-hmm,
Harvest is great. I'd probably give it like 9.5 bloody steaks.
mm-hmm.
Um yeah, so I'll give The Harvest 9.5, and I will give Welcome to the Hellmouth 10. So that's how it is. Together they
There
are
we
10
go.
now.
Yeah, together they are 10.
Together they are
10
10.
bloody steaks.
10 bloody steaks. All right. So that was our review of The Harvest, Buffy the
The
Vampire
harvest.
Slayer, season 1, episode 2. Obviously we loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be back here soon to talk about the next episode.
Of
Exciting.
dear, 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 dear.
Yeah, like sing the theme song as we end this.
Yeah.
Bye.